Morning, Ashley here. So it's the 9th of November, and today I want to talk to you about change and why we are in such fear of changing the universe, changing things changing around us. So it's come from a quote I've read this morning from Marcus Aurelius. It goes like this. Universe is change, life is opinion. Universe is change, life is opinion. So as we know, things around us are changing constantly. And our life it's all about a snapshot, it's all about a quick opinion. When we look, hear, smell, taste something with our senses, we have an immediate opinion of that thing, of a place, of a person. That's just a natural reaction. So life can just be a judgment of you. It's just your perception of life. It's not actual fact. And universe is fluid. And the more we get comfortable with how fluid the universe is, the more we can adapt to changes. So I want to talk to you about why we sort of reject change. So I'm going to use the example in the workplace, and for me, it's headlines a few points. It can be about timing, the timing of the announcement of something changing, and the uncertainty of something changing. And because most of us, quite a lot of us, have done things at the same time with the same people in the same way for many years, and when there's a threat, that thing, that place, then people, the time can be possibly changing. It can feel very uncertain, and what we do as humans and what we're sort of conditioned to, how we're sort of conditioned to behave, is sort of try and imagine the worst possible case scenario. If we don't know what's going to happen after change, if we're not completely clear in our heads, we don't know the details, we tend to imagine the worst case scenario. So that goes back to when we lived in caves, and back then, hundreds of thousands of years ago, the universe, things around us probably wasn't as fluid as they are now. As you can see around you, everything seems to be going a million miles an hour. We've become more adaptable we've become more clever as humans. Our brains become more clever and more complex. Because of that, things around us are going to change a lot more quicker than they did hundreds of thousands of years ago. But going back to, so when back then in the caveman times, is a sort of a slow release of change. We had more of an idea of what was going to happen, and we could prepare for that. But in today's world, it's a lot quicker, and there's a lot more access to opinions. Obviously, a lot more people in the world, a lot more things in the world. So this conditioning can really be sort of it can sort of hinder us. It can sort of hinder our adaptability to change. Because, when we're cavemen, there's a threat of tigers. When we lived in caves, there's threats of tigers, and it's probably right that we were sort of conditioned to sort of fear the worst, that to prepare to run if that tiger comes and gets us. But most of us now, most of us live in houses, and there's less threats of things like that happening. But even though there's less threats, the conditioning is still the same. So we still react in the same way of building fear around changing environments. But in today's world, literally change is so fast. Change is inevitable, Our bodies are changing, For example, I'll ask you, did you weigh the same as you did last week? Did you have are you with the same partner you were with 10 years ago? Are you living in the same house as you was 10 years ago? Look for people around you. Are you connected with the same people? And do you look the same? In terms of politics, new sort of old presidents have gone and new presidents come in, get replaced. So it's just a constant fluid system of things getting old, things getting older and being replaced, things getting older and replaced. It's just a cycle of change, really, in life. And it's our job, I guess, to just adapt to that change and just accept it. As November is a month of acceptance for me, it's just accepting change and really staying in touch with what I control. For example, you control your actions and emotions, and that's they can remain the same throughout all the change around you. If you're aware enough. And so that's the Stoic quote of the day from Marcus, that universe is change, life is opinion. And let me know if you've got any comments or opinions about what that quote means to you and what you think about change, and whether you do what you fear about change and how you sort of manage when possible change is upcoming. And it's a natural condition to have a trace of fear when change is coming. And I'm definitely not saying that we shouldn't fear change, because that's who we are as humans. But it's really being aware of that and why it's happening, so we can sort of judge it for what it is, and whether it is, judge it whether, ask yourself, am I in danger? Is my life in danger with this change? Because what we do is, when we fear this worst case scenario that we're imagining in our heads, we try and find evidence of this fear from other people. So we might message our friends or family, or search the internet and find evidence for this fear to make us, because we want to feel safer that, I'm right to feel the way I am now, because we don't want to be the only one. As humans, we never want to be the only one feeling the same way. And yeah, it's all about perceptions. So we feel safer when it's a collection of opinions. We feel safer when we're with people who have the same opinions as us. That's in a workplace. That's why people go to the coffee room, and just talk about gossip, and I guess that's what gossip is, and rumours. That's how, when we're uncertain about something, we're not clear about something that's happening around us. Rumours start to spread, and it's just rumours are a lot more accessible in this modern world, so it can accelerate the fear. So that's why, obviously, the internet has the downside of the internet. But just wanted to spread how I felt about that quote for today from Marcus. Life changes, universe is change, life is opinion. It's all about your perceptions, and remember that it's not things that upset us, it's our judgments of them. Speak to you soon.